Good to see you this Wednesday afternoon. We are now in a weather impact alert day throughout this afternoon as well as into the evening for both today and into the day tomorrow. Due to the threat of some of these showers and storms becoming strong to severe at times, main threats with these storms are going to be the locally heavy downpours that could cause some issues with flash flooding, continuing to see some slow moving storms across the area, as well as even some damaging winds in some of these storms as well. So make sure you're watching for those flash flood warnings and also wind damage in your region throughout the afternoon and also into the evening. Weather alerts, at least for right now across the area. Majority of the Piedmont you can see is under this dark shade of green. That means that we are in a flood watch from now all the way until Thursday at 2 a.m. due to the threat of some of these storms being very locally heavy at times across the area, which is going to cause a flooding risk for our region. Greensboro right now we're in the mid to upper 80s, but look at those dew points. Very oppressive, middle 70s. That's making it feel a whole 10 degrees warmer, like we are in the upper 90s. Lots of clouds right now. Winds are bringing in that warm, humid air out of the south around 10 to 15 miles per hour. It's the same basically all across the Triad. We are in the 80s, but feeling like we are in the 90s. A look right now all across the board. There was a severe thunderstorm warning just a couple of moments ago. We're going to kind of zoom in on what we're looking at for right now. Still a line of strong thunderstorms right now moving through very westernmost counties, dropping a lot of rain in a very short amount of time and also bringing a lot of cloud to ground lightning into portions of Wilkes County, Surry County, and also into Patrick County in Virginia. I want to kind of go here and storm track with you while I have my computer right here with us, just to kind of look at how many lightning strikes are within this line of storms, at least in our area. And it looks like between around 50 to 60, at least for right now. These storms are going to be very active when they have that heat and humidity. They can produce a lot of lightning, and we're going to continue to track this lightning throughout the afternoon and also into the evening as these storms continue to pop up and are expected to be pretty widespread. Hail tracking also within that line that I just showed you, up to around ½ an inch right now, just along the northwestern kind of quadrant here of Surry County, up to around ½ an inch. Then of course over here toward Wilkes, right along the Wilkes and Allegheny County line, up to around 0.6 inches in diameter for that hail. And we've been seeing that just in the last couple of minutes. We're also continuing to watch an area for a possible severe thunderstorm watch. It's in that shaded area right here in red in this big boxed region. This is the area that could get a severe thunderstorm watch heading into the next couple of hours. So we're going to be keeping tabs on that as these storms kind of develop here the next couple of hours. Flash flooding risk for our region. We don't really see this quite often. This is a level 3 out of 4, which means that scattered flash flooding is going to be likely across those regions. And again, this is kind of outlined here. Most of these areas right here, especially Alamance County and also portions of Chatham County and even Moore County, got a lot of rain from Tropical Depression Chantal that moved through on Sunday. That brought up to around 5 to 12 inches to some of those places across the region. So this is on top of that. Those areas are already particularly vulnerable to the already saturated soils. And when you have slow moving storms that can dump a lot in a very short amount of time, that can cause a lot of issues. That water has to go somewhere, and that's going to cause more issues for these areas. So that area, especially in Alamance and Chatham, is outlined under that level 3. So we're going to have to keep a particular close eye on those areas heading into this afternoon and evening as these slow moving thunderstorms kind of form. And the reason that they're slow moving is because we don't really have a steering current in the upper atmosphere to kind of keep these things moving along. So they're able to kind of form, stay in one spot, really not move very quickly, and dump a lot in a very short amount of time, which is very dangerous for the areas that have already seen a lot of rain just in the last week or so from that tropical depression. Heading into tomorrow, we still are going to have that threat once again. We still have the hot and humid air. We still have that upper level trough, and it's going to be interacting with upper level disturbances that can kind of interact to bring in more opportunities for that initial spark for thunderstorm development in the afternoons and into the evening. So we're still under a level 2, which means scattered flash flooding is still going to be possible heading into the afternoon and into the evening on Thursday, which is why our weather impact alert goes from today all the way through tomorrow afternoon and into the evening, with the primary threats being in the afternoons and evenings for that daytime kind of storm development. across the region. Severe storm risk for our area. We are in a level 2, meaning scattered severe storms are going to be possible for our area. We've already seen a couple here just in western counties for us here in Surrey, and also here toward Allegheny, and also in Virginia there in Patrick County. But we're going to continue to watch that development over the next several hours as this line kind of continues to build in from our west. And we're going to be watching and keeping a close eye on all of those storms as well. Again, the main threats within these storms going to be that flash flooding risk, as well as the damaging wind gusts within some of those severe storms as well. Some could even just be strong across the area. So go ahead and make sure that you've, kind of put everything outdoors, secured outdoor loose items. Make sure when you're on the roads also you're looking for potential ponding, or if you see that a road is flooded, please do not attempt to drive in it. Remember to turn around and don't drown. Severe storm risk for tomorrow. Once again, we are in that level 2, meaning scattered severe storms going to be possible once again with a little bit higher of a concentration just toward our south, but still most of the Triad under that level 2 risk that we're going to have to really keep an eye on for the afternoons and into the evenings. Damaging wind risk for our area under that slight category, which is pretty high, 15% for our area, which means some areas could see some locally damaging wind gusts across the region. So keep that in mind. If you have outdoor umbrellas, make sure they're tied up. Make sure outdoor items, once again, are not loose. Make sure they're secured. And for any of these winds that could get pretty damaging across the area, this is once again into Thursday. That's really going to be the threat into tomorrow afternoon and evening as well. Now, I have talked about those rainfall totals that we saw just earlier on in the week on Sunday from Tropical Depression Chantal. Well, on top of the 5 to 10 inches that some of our easternmost counties saw, like Alamance and also Chatham and Moore counties, we're expecting a little bit more just over the next 2 days from some of these locally heavier downpours, where you see blue is up from around 3/4 of an inch here up to around 1.5 inches that we could see all across central North Carolina from these widespread heavy storms kind of dumping a lot in a short span of time. Where you see kind of more purple across the area here in Guilford, Rockingham, and Caswell counties, dipping all the way down here toward Albemarle there as well, up to around 2 to 2.5 inches possible in those areas. So we're going to have to keep a very close eye on any sort of storms that form, because flash flooding really is going to be a possibility, a very big opportunity that some of those rainfall amounts going to be falling in the areas that are sensitive right now from Tropical Depression Chantal also. So that's another thing, of course, that we'll be continuing to keep you updated on. Rainfall that we've seen so far today. Nothing, at least for the majority right now of the Triad, but of course that is going to change as we head into the next couple of hours. You can see over here Boone is just under 1/2 inch just from those storms that kind of just pushed through in the last couple of hours and are kind of continuing to head toward our way in the Wilkes County, Allegheny, and Surrey County as we speak. You can kind of see that green dot right up here just toward the northwest of Mount Airy, and that's where we're seeing those locally heavy downpours at the moment. Wanted to show you a look at our high-res Futurecast for the next couple of hours. I'm really kind of expecting these showers and storms to develop across the area through around 11 o'clock tonight. So they kind of have a very late ending time across the area. Not only just for today, but also into tomorrow afternoon and into the evening. So this is by around 6 or 7 o'clock for Thursday. Again, seeing a lot of those showers and storms develop a little bit more toward our south, which we saw in that kind of risk outlook is building a little bit more south for the day on Thursday. But that doesn't mean we still couldn't see some storms. Most of those are going to be out of our area later into Thursday night by around 11 o'clock or so, before we start to dry out a bit heading into Friday and also into your weekend. Temperatures across the board, mainly in the upper 80s, right at around 90 degrees. But look at those feels like temperatures. Dew points, it's like air that you can wear right now. Feeling like the triple digits in Danville at 100, feeling like the triple digits also in Reedsville, feeling like 103, 100 in Lexington, versus air temperatures mainly just in the mid to upper 80s to right at around 90 degrees. And that's what dew points can really do, especially when you start to get that tropical air coming in from the south. That's just going to make it feel a lot warmer out just because of that humidity. Highest wind gusts we've seen across the board today, mainly in that 20 to 25 mile an hour range. But of course, that could change in some of these storms, especially if they are severe across the area. You can see those 60 mile per hour winds or even higher mix all the way down to the surface, which can do a lot of damage. So make sure you're keeping eyes on that. 7-day forecast. I'm going to open this up and kind of give you a full glance here at what to expect these next couple of days. We still have this weather impact alert in effect throughout this afternoon and and into the evening. We do again once for tomorrow afternoon and evening as well. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated online and of course on the app as well. Next couple of days though, we are drying out, especially for the weekend. Take a look at that. Upper 80s to right at around